This is a paid presentation for Superthotics, the ultimate pain-relieving shoe insert.
Hello and welcome to our show, which we call The Best of the Best. It's where we do a thorough review of some of the special products that you'll see at various times on this channel, Best Direct. And with me today is Ben Moseby. Welcome, Ben.
Thank you very much.
So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been working in shopping TV for about 10 or 12 years now. No, I don't look old enough.
No.
Right answer. And over the years, obviously, I've seen hundreds and hundreds of products. And it's so lovely when you get a product like this that comes along, which you know could potentially help so many people.
That's right. So today we're going to be talking about Superthotics, which is a simple shoe insert.
Yeah, well, it's the simple shoe insert. What the manufacturers are claiming is the ultimate pain-relieving shoe insert. So big claims, and that's something that we're going to be chatting about and looking at over the course of the show.
So it all starts with the feet, I guess. Pretty underappreciated.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people don't like to talk about feet. It's not the most glamorous thing in the world, is it?
Well, you can dress them up, bit of a pedicure.
Yeah, something I've never done actually, a pedicure.
No?
But
Give it a go.
Maybe I will after this, maybe I will. But yeah, absolutely. It's so important to look after your feet. I think it's so important to say that if you have got pain elsewhere in your body, be it ankle pain, be it knee pain, hip pain, back pain, a lot of it could be to do with the fact that you're neglecting your poor old feet, that your feet aren't aligned properly, and that's what Superthotics look to address.
Right, so alignment. We don't really think about alignment.
Well, when I think about this, in my own little simple mind, I think about the wheels on a car, your tyres on a car, okay? So if you've got tyres which are pumped up, tyres which have got the correct tread, you're driving along, you're quite happy. Even someone like me who's not the best driver in the world is doing all right. But if the tyres are underinflated, if the tread's going just a little bit, you can feel it, can't you? You can feel it in the steering wheel. It affects everything else on your journey. And that's the same with your feet. If your feet aren't aligned properly, it can affect everything else up the chain. It seems so simple now to sort of think about it and go, okay, if my feet aren't aligned properly, it is going to affect my ankles. It is then potentially going to affect my knees, my hips, my back. And as I say, that's what Superthotics addresses, the alignment of your feet. So
like tyres, wouldn't a good quality shoe do the same thing?
Well, yeah, potentially. And here's the thing, you can go out and you can buy these shoes. They cost a lot of money. You need like a small loan sometimes to go out and buy these shoes. I was a runner many years ago, and I know the kind of money that you can pay. And that's great. If you've got hundreds of pounds, brilliant. You can go out and buy one pair of shoes. But then you might not want to always wear your trainers. You might want to get that comfy feeling in your high heels. Not me, but
weekends maybe.
On Saturdays, yes. Exactly. Yeah. You want that comfort all the time, and you can't get that with one pair of shoes. However, if you've got Superthotics, you can use them in all the different shoes that you've got around the house.
So you can transfer them quite easily?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it is all about that support and alignment with these. So if you have got sore feet, achy feet, tired feet, again, that potentially is impacting on other parts of your body, which might be aching, whether it be your knees, your hips, or your back.
It sounds so simple. So what do they do exactly?
Well, here's the scientific bit, and I'm going to make myself sound very educated here when I take you through the amazing design of Superthotics. So it's threefold, really. You've got your BioLock heel cup, so that is going to help to support your foot, and it's also going to give you that correct kind of line up. It's going to give you that correct line of your foot. You've then got on the reverse of this, and again, another big sentence, your biodynamic balance inserts. Now, the great thing about Superthotics is that you've got 3 inserts. So you can change these around, find which one kind of fits your foot the best. And once you've got that in place, it's going to ensure that your foot is hitting the ground perfectly, correctly, each and every time that you use them. And then you've also got, here comes another long one, your metatarsal and longitudinal arch support. Should get brownie points for getting that one out. And that one again, make sure that when your foot hits the floor, the weight of your foot is evenly distributed right throughout the Superthotic. It's such a brilliant design, and as I say, the great thing for me is the fact that once you've got these, they're so well made, you're going to have them for a long time, and you can pop them into any pair of shoes that you've got at home.
That's brilliant, because you mentioned about how it starts with the feet, the ankles, the knees. and eventually up to your back, and of course you can start to stoop, and that's not flattering. That's going to make you look old, and you're hobbling around, a bit like a old granny, way before your time. Like you say, you've been in business for 12 years.
Yeah.
You're not stooping.
Well,
you're still very young.
I'd like to think not, and it's a great point you've made actually, because these are for everybody. I know we were chatting beforehand. You've got a friend who runs marathons. I've done a lot of running. If you are someone who's active, who does a lot of running, you've got to think about how much your feet are taking when you're pounding the ground when you're running. So great for people like that. But on the flip side of that, people perhaps who have just got sore, achy feet, and they don't get out. Maybe they are getting a little bit older, and the reason they're not getting out is because their feet hurt, and because their feet are hurting, their knees are hurting, because their knees are hurting, their hips are hurting. So I really believe these are for everybody.
Well, that's fantastic. So what about these?
Yep, you also get your Superthotic insoles too, so you can add these into your shoes with your Superthotics to give you an extra layer of comfort.
That's fantastic. So if you can already see how Superthotics could change your life and bring you relief from not only aching and sore feet, but also help prevent back pain or even more serious injury to your back, then why not call our friendly operators and order Superthotics for yourself? Or if someone in your family is suffering from bad back or stiff legs or even just achy feet, then they'll thank you for getting Superthotics for them. And do recommend Superthotics to your friends. It's a fantastic way to ease all those aches and pains in your back, knees, ankles, as well as your feet. The number is on the screen here. Do call, you'll be glad you did.
Hi, I'm Barbara Conway Olson. I'm a retired nurse. I can feel pain in my lower back, my knees. My feet start aching. Sometimes I kind of wobble. So I tried Superthotics. I really couldn't believe it. It was amazing. I could wear any type of shoe now and can walk as long as I want and no pain. I don't hurt. I feel very secure that I'm not going to lose my balance. Superthotics are a dream come true. I wear them all the time. I may be retired, but I don't sit home on the couch. That's for old people.
I'm Stephen Wu. I'm 68 years old. I have diabetes, and I've suffered from neuropathy. It's a stiffness, it's a pain on my feet. I tried the Superthotics, and it's really lessened the pain. My back is feeling better. I'm standing up straighter, and I can turn on a dime now. I feel more confident on the tennis court. I can do things that I did some 20, 30 years ago. It's a great feeling.
So Ben, this is all really interesting. Thanks for going through all the science with us. But how do we know that these are really effective?
That's the big question, isn't it? And would you be impressed if I told you that these had a US patent?
Oh, of course, yeah.
How impressed would you be if I told you they had 2 US patents?
More so, that's intriguing. Okay.
A good job you sat down, because these have actually got 3 US patents. So these are like a hugely innovative product. They're not available in stores here in the UK, so the best time and is now really to get these, and the best place to get them is here on Best DRTV. But as much as we can sit and chat about them, let's have a look at this little video. Now, this video features an eminent foot specialist from America. He's talking about his patient Barbara and why he thinks Superthotics might be beneficial for her.
Barbara came into our office overpronating, complaining of pain in her toes and the front of her foot, back pain, a little bit of knee discomfort, and we put her in an instrumental gait treadmill, and we can see how she distributes weight. Without the Superthotics, most of her pressure was on the front of the foot. When we put the Superthotics in, there was equal amount of pressure on the front of the foot and the back of the foot. All the graphs show this improvement in stability, and then we took her to our motion analysis test. As the platform starts moving, the force plates record the time it takes Barbara to balance. The design of the Superthotic potentiates sensation from your foot, because the padded heel in the Superthotic is helping her brain to find her foot. Pressure is redistributed because she's more aware of her feet. Fix the foot and you'll fix a lot of problems, not just knees and back, but lots of problems.
It was so interesting to see that film about Barbara and how much went into assessing her condition and how Superthotics can really help her.
Yeah, absolutely. Really interesting to see. I love all of those sciencey bits. But I think, great from our point of view that Superthotics are available to buy right now. You don't need to go and see your doctor to get a prescription to be able to get these. You can get these from us today and start reaping the benefits from them, because, as we've been chatting about, I think these are beneficial for so many different people, aren't they?
Yeah, you're quite right. And, you look at key workers, we've all learned to appreciate them an awful lot. They're all on their feet all the time, teachers, nurses, doctors, and there's also postal workers, people that have been delivering those birthday cards that we've all been so desperate to have in the past. And my dad, for example, he used to work for the Royal Mail.
Oh, okay.
And he would be in the sorting office, always on his feet. And now, sadly, he does suffer from arthritis in his feet and hands and has to have steroid injections.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So every now and then, just to relieve it. So it just feels that something like this could, whilst he was working, he's now retired, could have helped prevent it maybe, and certainly help any of the onset of the problem happening.
Yeah, so sad to hear about your dad, but like you said, potentially this might be something that he could benefit from now. But I think that's almost like a great story to take from the fact that whilst if you do have pain right now, whether it be from sore feet or, as we've discussed, in your knees, in your ankles, in your hips, these could potentially help alleviate that pain. But what about getting these in your shoes before the pain starts?
Yeah.
And I think that's a really important thing to think about, because, like you've touched on, think about how many people are on their feet all day, whether it be the postmen and women, whether it be the doctors and nurses, whether it be the factory workers. When I used to be on shopping TV, I could be on my feet for, 8-10 hours a day. And again, the amount of guys who would come off a show and be complaining about how sore their feet were.
Well, all of our crew could probably totally agree with you there. They're always behind the cameras.
Yeah.
Floor managers always running around.
Yeah. Always working really hard. Some harder than others.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that point of, I think, isn't it? Actually, getting these in your shoes before the problems begin. And they really are for everybody. We've talked about people using these in their day-to-day lives. We've chatted as well about people who are perhaps a little bit more active. Like I used to do a lot of running. Perfect for people who love running. Perfect for people who love hiking. All these people who are putting their feet through so much.
Shopping.
Well, yes.
Retail therapy.
Yeah, why did I know you were going to come up with shopping?
We got you're working around the shops and you're on your feet, and I do get achy back after a day shopping. It's probably the bags, to be honest, but possibly.
How much stuff have you got in your bags? That's what I need to know.
I like heavy goods.
Right.
That's what it is.
Bowling balls.
I do have a thing for bowling balls, but maybe it's all coming from the feet and on hard surfaces.
Yeah, absolutely. And stat for you here, and I'm loving all of the stats today. Your feet go through a huge amount of punishment. Sometimes we can be putting up to 5 times our body weight through the force of our feet, which for me is like an incredible stat. And when I think about how much I weigh, it's a terrifying stat. That truly is terrifying. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, all of that weight is like going through my feet. So if you think about that, you think about why Superthotics might just be absolutely perfect for you. And as we said, the great thing about these is they hit so many different key points, and you can use them in so many different shoes as well. If you're running, you're going to want to have them in your trainers. If you are someone who's on your feet all day, maybe you've got a pair of comfy shoes which isn't quite comfy enough. I mean, even for the fact if you want to wear these at home and put them in your slippers, I mean, they'll literally go in everything.
Certainly for the alignment, for stability.
Yes.
People that are a little off balance now because of their age, or if they've, done something recently that's kind of inner ear problems. That's a thing that's that our boss has had recently, labyrinthitis.
Yeah.
To feel steady on your feet, I feel, is really, really important, and it gives you that confidence to go out and about.
Yeah, and as we've already touched on, these can go in all sorts of shoes. You've got your durable, high-tech polymer design with these, and as we can see, these are fine to go in kind of like your everyday shoes. So maybe you've got to wear those sort of more posher-looking shoes. These aren't mine, by the way. No, these aren't mine. But do you know what I mean? Your shoes, because you have to wear smart shoes if you're in the office or if you're going to school. You can't very well turn up to your job in your pair of slippers. But these will perfectly go into those shoes which need to be smart for work, which might ultimately not be the comfiest ever. And you know, whilst they'll go into your smarter shoes, they'll also go into your shoes, you know, like your trainers, like those shoes that you you know, you work out in, and they're so simple. You can literally just slip them into your shoe. They fit absolutely perfectly. And again, you know, once you've finished with these shoes, you want to pop them into another pair of shoes. They simply pop right back out again. And as we've already talked about, the fact that the design on these is amazing. You know, you've got that cushion heel lock in there. You've got the ability to completely personalize these as well with the interchangeable biodynamic inserts. And then of course, you've got the ability here to know that when you are treading down on these, the weight is going to be evenly distributed. So every time you're wearing these, whether it be in your workout shoes, whether it be in your high heels, whether it be in your slippers, you know you're going to get the comfort, you know you're going to get that stability with these as well. And as I say, just put that in your mind when you think about that 5 times downward force. If you are someone who is already struggling with pain, wherever it might be in your body, these surely have got to be something that you've got to try. If you're not yet at that point, you know, if you haven't got back pain, if you're thinking, well, I'm absolutely fine, you know, no problem at all, get these in your shoes now, I would say, before potentially that pain starts.
Well, actually, we've got some testimonials for some people who've already used these in America. So let's have a listen to those.
My name is Joseph Scotto. I am a social worker. I get around mainly by subways and walking, and I wear shoes for style, not comfort. I am not going to wear orthopedic shoes. They're just not fashionable. I also live in a 3-flight walk-up, and I have a duplex, so more steps. My feet ache. My back is always in pain. I started using Superthotics. They feel extremely comfortable. Wearing the Superthotics have definitely alleviated all of the pain in my feet and my back. I particularly think it's great that it took something so small that doesn't involve medication. You shouldn't settle for being in pain, and now I don't have to anymore.
My name is Michelle Cromer. I'm a New York City public school teacher. My classroom is on the 3rd floor. We have what we call teacher shoes that we put on to try to be comfortable. Even my teacher shoes were feeling uncomfortable. Foot fatigue, my arch would be achy. When your feet hurt, it seems like everything hurts. When I first took the Superthotics out of the package, I was like, these are so thin. Like, what is this? So I put it in my shoe and it worked. I didn't have that tingling in my heel and my feet didn't feel tired. Some days I will put them in my teacher shoes. Some days I will put them in like boots. I put them in all my shoes, even my church shoes. I was even telling my teacher friends about it. And they were like, does this really work? I was like, yes, they really work. Superthotics are a lifesaver for my career.
So there you have it, some very positive comments there from people who have benefited from using Superthotics. And your story might be very similar. Do you or someone you know suffer from backaches, dodgy knees, sore feet, or even just tiredness from walking around the shops? The problem is more than likely going to be your feet and your shoes, and Superthotics can sort them out. Put them in your shoes and instantly feel the benefits of more comfort, more stability and more confidence in your walking. With your feet properly aligned, your whole body will benefit as you're not putting so much stress and strain on your legs and lower body. So call our operators to order your Superthotics now and also get some for your friends or a family member who might be suffering. They will definitely thank you if you do.
My name is Angela McKee. I am 69 years old. Well, I was told by the doctor I needed to have both knees replaced. They would just hurt. I have bunions on both feet and a hammer toe. When you're hurting and you have to go out and do things or go places, I dread it because I think, oh, my feet are gonna hurt. The first time I put the Superthotic in, I just felt a world of difference. My feet did not bother me at all. And my knees and my hips feel much better. This is like one of the greatest things that have happened to me lately. I was thinking about going back to salsa class. I had given up. I haven't been there in over a year. I am definitely going back to salsa dancing with the Superthotic in my shoe. I thought my salsa days were over. Thanks to Superthotics, I am back on the dance floor.
Sometimes I'm on my feet for 10 hours, and that's taken a toll on my lower back and especially my feet. I've tried everything, nothing really helps.
Whenever I wake up in the morning, I have pain in my feet. The moment you start feeling pain, you have to stop. And I work in construction, and if you're on a deadline, I can't go take a break to rest my feet.
Since I've been wearing Superthotics, I don't have the pain, especially in my feet. And my back feels so much better. When I walk with the Superthotics, it just feels like a secure step. Any shoe that I wear, I know that I can insert my Superthotics and I'm gonna be okay. I don't have to worry about my back and I don't have to worry about my feet.
After wearing Superthotics, the very next day, I didn't feel any pain when I woke up in the morning. I didn't expect it to be that remarkable.
My name is Marilyn Jensen, and I'm 64 years old. I'm an antique and art appraiser, so I'm on my feet a lot. I have hallux rigidus. Hallux rigidus is like arthritis, and I also have flat feet, so I feel the pain in my feet, in my hip, and in my lower back. So I tried the Superthotics. I noticed a difference right away. I could walk better and for longer periods of time without my foot hurting. And I noticed that my hip doesn't hurt anymore and my back doesn't hurt. This is the first product that I've used that has dissipated the pain. It worked. Nothing else worked.
I'm finding it really interesting exchanging stories and listening to the testimonials and thinking about myself and my own family about how this would actually benefit people I know. For example, my sister was born with a clicky hip, has a hip dysplasia, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And she walks a lot, loves walking, and she's finding that exercising is helping that. But I think also having the support of Superthotics is going to help align the whole body because you can't help but overcompensate, don't you? It's like if something is hurting somewhere, you kind of counterbalance it.
And then what happens?
Yeah,
that other thing then hurts, doesn't it?
And then your shoulder will be hurting because your spine's squiffy and things like that. So yeah, I think this would really help my sister on her long walks that she enjoys.
Isn't it interesting, since we've been chatting, how we can relate Superthotics to so many of our friends and family? Because I think about my wife, for example. So we've moved recently and she's just started a new job and she's become a professional dog walker.
Okay.
And she hasn't got problems currently. I hope she never does have problems. But, you know, again, talk about having something there like Superthotics before those problems begin. Because I think about the amount of miles that she does each and every week. You know, she walks her first dog at 9 in the morning, and sometimes she can be out walking until sort of 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, and those miles can soon clock up.
I can imagine on different terrains as well, like on the pavement, and in fields and
absolutely. You know, sometimes she's marching around the village on the concrete. Sometimes she's up to her knees in mud. So again, you know, lots of different terrains. And of course, the fact with Superthotics is she could place them in her Wellington boots when she goes for a walk in the fields. She can place them into her flat shoes or her trainers when she's going for a walk around the village. So again, loads of different reasons why Superthotics might be brilliant for her as well.
Yeah, it's interesting you say about a job where you're on different terrains. Our boss was talking about how that he was talking to a DIY store manager, years and years and years working on concrete floor. And he's got terrible back problems now. Of course, you sort of assume it's going to be because of heavy lifting, and as a manager you don't do so much of the heavy lifting, but you are on your feet all day and it's hitting that concrete. It's really hard, puts lots of pressure on your feet and muscles.
Like you say, we've covered that off, haven't we, that these are great for you if you're not suffering, but if you are suffering, then again you really need to give these a go, because let's be honest, and you know, people might be watching and eating their lunch or dinner right now. We're going to get on to talk about some pretty gruesome stuff that can happen to your feet, aren't we?
I was thinking about feet, because we've said earlier on how they're kind of not ignored, but they're underappreciated.
Yeah.
And there are other problems with feet and poor fitted shoes, or even what you think might be good fitted shoes, because some things are hereditary, like bunions.
Oh dear. Not pretty, not nice.
No, not comfortable.
Not comfortable. And other things as well. Let's talk about things like corns and calluses. I mean, there can be some pretty horrendous things happen to your feet, right? If you've got the wrong sort of fitting shoe and your feet aren't correctly aligned. But that again is where Superthotics come in. Let's talk about them again. Let's talk about how these are going to help. So painful heels, for example. If you're someone who's you're always grabbing your heels, always giving your heels a rub, could be potentially plantar fasciitis. Another big word there for you. Something which a lot of runners suffer from, and also Achilles tendonitis. So you look at that and think, okay, so my heel's affected. How are Superthotics going to help? Again, we've talked about the system that you've got with Superthotics. You've got that BioLock heel cup, so it's going to give you that support, and straight off the bat, it's going to make sure that your feet are aligned. So potentially, again, tackling things like plantar fasciitis. Say it again because I'm not stumbling the words. I'm showing off. And Achilles tendonitis as well. But then let's also talk about it, because you brought it up, not me, bunions. Unsightly, but I've never had bunions, but quite painful as well, I can imagine.
Yeah, I've thankfully, I've never experienced them
that's
myself.
me making it out as if you've got bunions.
No, but I've got my sister-in-law, she's had to have an operation on them, and I think that's possibly many years, again, on her feet. She's a sales lady in heels, always looked immaculate. But she was, it's the pressure on the feet.
Yeah, and you talk about pressure, again, that's where Superthotics come in. So if you do struggle with bunions, those bony lumps that you get near your big toe, that's where with the Superthotics, the metatarsal and longitudinal arch support comes in. And also, again, it comes back to that BioLock heel cut, because again, if you've got the weight distributed evenly across the foot, and you've also got the support in the heel and that alignment, again, you're looking at things like bunions and going, okay, well, this could potentially help me. And then let's come on to something else. This is the thing that I mentioned. Again, unsightly and can be quite painful. Corns and calluses. Not particularly nice. And again, I think a lot of that comes down to like a badly fitted shoe. I always think at things like corns and calluses and bunions, particularly for people who wear high heel shoes, because I always think about that pinch that you get in a high heel.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not speaking from experience there, but what I've heard, you've got. And again, Superthotics really does tackle that problem. As we've already chatted about, you've got with Superthotics that interchangeable biodynamic fitting here. So you've got these inserts to give you that perfect fit each and every time that you wear them, to help stop, again, things like corns and calluses, to help stop things like bunions, to help stop those painful heels, plantar fasciitis, Achilles tendonitis. So it tackles so many different things, which is the genius about these inserts. You know, I think all round, Superthotics are brilliant. It's a great way to potentially, as we've talked about, keep your feet healthy straight off the bat. But if you are someone who's struggling with any of the things that we've just mentioned, give these a go, seriously, because as we've chatted about, healthy feet means that your feet are going to be well aligned with the Superthotics. And if you've got well aligned feet with the Superthotics, then as we talked about, goes all the way up that chain, doesn't it? Your feet are well aligned into your ankles, into your knees, into your hips, into your back. So potentially, you know, these could be great for so many people.
And like we've said before, how easy they are to interchangeable and into different shoes. So many benefits.
Absolutely.
It's brilliant.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Ben.
You're welcome.
It's been great to have your expert advice and insightful experience, and to really have a nice chat.
Yeah.
It's been nice to exchange stories and all brought together by Superthotics.
Who would have thought?
thought?
You and I would be brought together by Superthotics. And listen, you know what? Hopefully, we're going to get people jumping on and grabbing these. And even if by watching, you know, this show, it changes, you know, one person's life, I think we've done our job today.
I think so too. So if you too want to feel the benefits of having healthy feet and the right posture, you must try Superthotics. It's the ideal way to make sure you stand and walk the correct way, and that you stop putting pressure on your bones and muscles. You'll find relief from back pain, aching feet and sore knees simply by using Superthotics. So please call our operators and get the relief you deserve. And even if you're not currently suffering too badly with your feet, you could get Superthotics anyway to help prevent the onset of conditions that may only get worse over time. So do yourself a favour and order Superthotics now for yourself or someone who you care about. And thanks for watching. And a special thanks to Ben here for taking us through some of the great benefits of Superthotics. We'll see you next time, and don't forget to order. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was a paid presentation for Superthotics, the ultimate pain-relieving shoe insert.